Hello and welcome to Limassol Cyprus at IFX Expo Week. And here we are today at the Limassol Yacht Club. And I'm joined by Natalia Hunik.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi. MT5. It launched first 7 years ago.
Yes.
I think it's probably the longest gestation period for a piece of computer software anywhere in the world. But over the last year and a half, it's begun to finally gain very large traction. And I think the multi-asset flexibility and the abilities to use it to connect it not only to an OTC feed but also to an exchange and offer derivatives as well as OTC on the same platform, various other aspects that were never part of its USP to start with now comes to the forefront.
Right.
And in Cyprus, where the actual MetaTrader 5 platform comes from, brokers are now starting to take it up, as they did. Actually, Russia was the first place.
Right.
Then it went all over the world, but now Cyprus is becoming very MT5 orientated.
Yes, MT4 is marching around the world, and I think it's just like the wine. The age only makes it better.
That's right.
And hopefully improved. I see a lot of brokers in Cyprus adopting MT5, and not just in Cyprus, everywhere. I think the market is finally ready for it. The market grew over the last decade, right? There's a lot more brokerages. MT4 is pretty much in every brokerage you go to, in any country you go to. This is a ubiquitous platform. This is the most popular platform. And I think, in the last 10 years, the platform growth has been driven by the user demand, right?
Yes, it has.
At the same time, the brokerages, as well as user demands, they evolved, right? Retail brokerages are looking at other markets to expand to, and MT4 was really limited to a couple asset classes.
Yes, it is. Mostly spot FX.
Yeah, mostly spot FX, and there were certain modifications done by third-party developers to accommodate, futures trading, CFD trading, but it's not ideal.
No.
Of course, as it is with any solution, everyone prefers a native.
They do. Yeah.
Native platform, native integration. And so MT5 is a natural, I think, progression for many brokerages, and I see that MetaQuotes puts a lot of efforts into making this transition seamless, and they're allowing for tools to migrate data, to migrate certain components of the system, back office, all of those things, and making the transition easier for the customers. But MT5, as I think is going to happen, it's a matter of time. Of course, as it is with anything in life, change is tough, and a lot of people are getting used to doing things a certain way, and so you have, of course, employees of all the brokerages that now have to get used to a new system.
They do.
Pretty much, because I think a lot of improvements that were made in MT5 have to do with the back end.
They do indeed.
So there are a lot of rewards waiting for brokerages, but they really need to make an effort to adapt. And
that's right. In the
change
back end,
change is tough.
Yes, but I think in the end, the back end, that's a very important point, because the back end is actually really important here.
Yes.
Mainly because what I've found is that I've been complained to a few times by brokerages, retail brokerages, saying that the fee structure, the charging structure for MT5 is, they changed the charging structure, but it appears on the face of it more expensive than MT4. But it actually isn't, because the back-end aspect of it is such that if you've got an office in here in Cyprus, one in London, one in the Far East, Hong Kong, that serves the APAC region, previously you'd have had to have a server, an MT4 server for each region, plus server engineers in each region. Now with MT5 you have one server hosted in your main head office, looked after by your main MT5 specialists, and the rest of the locations around the world don't need it. They run off one server.
Absolutely.
That's a big cost saving.
It is a big cost saving, most certainly, and you only need to buy one license, and you can have multiple trade servers, and depending on the region where you do business in, you can place those servers strategically to target your customer base. The infrastructure is distributed. It's it's scalable. There's a lot of benefits for the broker in MT5 versus MT4, and when MT4 was built, it was long time ago, right? I mean, standards have evolved, operating systems have evolved, things have gotten better, and MT5 is a better platform that is able to use those technology innovation that has come in the last decade to the market.
Right.
So I think it's a matter of time. I think brokerages will switch, and they have a lot of tools and then a lot of incentives to do so.
Yeah.
And as I said, I think there are rewards waiting for them as they make those changes within the organization to adapt to the new platform.
Definitely.
As there are a lot of benefits for the end users as well.
There are. I think actually the thing is, you're going to have, in my opinion now, on the retail side, 3 types of system.
Right.
And that's it. There won't be any more than that. There will be brokerages like CMC Markets and Saxo Bank and IG Group that have got institutional, and they're all their own top-to-tail trading system right the way from the top down, that develop their own.
Right.
CMC Markets spending $100 million developing their next generation platform. Saxo Bank, which is a fintech company, making an interactive system where you can make your own interface at the front end, that kind of thing. But of course, those kinds of companies will also offer MT4 for specific clients.
Yes.
Then you have in the middle, all of the MetaTrader brokerages, which there are. I did an actual calculation.
Right.
There are 1,231 MT4 active licenses. That includes ones that only use MT4, it includes white labels, as well as brokers with a server. It also includes companies with proprietary platforms that have an MT4 license as well. It's actually active. There are 1,231 active MT4 operators at the moment, which is a lot.
Impressive number, yeah.
Impressive number. So then you've got companies like CTrader, which is a very good quality platform, which is vying for market share in that specific third-party platform space. There are no others.
Yes.
Then what you end up with is the new types of companies that are coming from a different sector altogether, like IQ Option, we were talking about this earlier, and like some of these companies that didn't come from the Forex area, which are going into what they call simplified Forex, which is a stop and go button, if you want to call it that, an execute and a non-execute button. And that's it. No charting or anything like that, just for the idea being for small deposit new customer. Okay, so I can see it going like that. But the middle class, with MetaTrader 5 now here, there's going to be an entry into futures trading on exchanges and multi-asset products like DirectFX with CQG's integration, which is going to give retail customers access to what would have never been possible because they'd have had to pay exchange clearing fees and all sorts. Now they don't because of that. Right.
Well, so they still need to gain access to the venue.
Yes, they do.
There are multiple ways to do that, and certainly for the end users, MT4 wasn't a necessarily multi-asset platform. In MT5, a lot of brokerages, as you mentioned, the ones that used to offer MT4, can now expand their product offering into other markets, and this is a great benefit.
It's brilliant because I think
it can help them grow business to the next level.
It can. As that happens, there's been a lot of talk, especially this week here, about restricting yourself to spot FX is very problematic as a retail broker. So having a multi-asset with say several thousand asset classes that range from futures and equities and stocks to spot forex to CFDs to everything all on one platform without having the cost associated with it normally. What do you, as an institutional, an expert who provides liquidity, is this workable from a liquidity point of view?
From the liquidity point of view, absolutely. You have to find different vendors that specialize in certain asset classes.
Yes.
And you can, with the MT5, I think you can easily put an offering together because the platform supports everything.
Yes, it does.
As a broker, though, you need to really do the research on the suppliers and bring in the suppliers for those type of products.
So I could go along, let's say I'm a well-capitalized brokerage, I come along, take a liquidity feed from Advanced Markets for spot FX, direct, prime of prime liquidity feed. Then I can go to connect it to CME, but separate, but through the same platform, a separate provider. or then get, for example, a gold bullion dealer in Hong Kong to give me a fee. And all these 3 fees will just go to the same platform.
Yes, absolutely. I think inside of MT5 there's multiple, I mean, there's a lot of integrations that MetaQuotes did with the exchanges, so it makes it very easy for you to, it's a plug and play basically.
It is.
As well as there are integrations, native integrations, gateway what they call, right, to various liquidity sources on the FX side, and there's ability with the API to connect to your own liquidity if you wish, or use a third-party vendor to connect you to a liquidity provider of your choice. So there's multiple choices available, and I think it definitely expands the horizon of FX brokerage and gives them ability to go into other areas that they haven't explored before, and they really want to, because they want differentiations. They want to target different markets.
They must do.
Some markets don't trade the FX as much as they do equities, and so you certainly gain
North America.
Yeah, that's a whole separate subject on its own.
It is indeed. Hong Kong there's a lot of deliverable metal, precious metals.
Right.
Bullion is very popular there.
Yes.
Things like that.
Right.
And then you have the Dubai Commodities and Gold Exchange, which now has 11 MetaTrader 5s connected to it.
Yes, I've heard about that. So it's one of those exchanges where it has a democratic pricing in terms of becoming a member, and you can get access to metals futures market. It is a very interesting solution, and MetaQuotes, I believe, has a gateway. MT5 has a gateway to go to the DGCX.
Yes, it does.
So I actually heard this week a lot of talk about it, and quite a few brokerages are already taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I figured that might be the case. So the question is, with that there, as a middle of the range, not the very high level, 30-year established, well-capitalized London and Sydney-based stalwarts that have their own platforms and have got huge revenues and huge resources to development, and all in-house. You have Swissquote as well, and all these companies that are well known for developing their own systems. The middle of the range companies now are going to elevate themselves to be almost like a real multi-asset company, rather than just a B-book FX brokerage, but without having much. It looks to me like it's not going to be very expensive for them to do it.
They don't have to invest in R&D, they don't have to invest in development. Absolutely.
They just pay the licensing fee, and it's an upgrade license because they already have the server.
Yes.
So it's an upgrade license.
So there's a lot of upside.
A lot of upside, yes, it is. The downside is that you're competing in the same. What's happening is you've got 1,230 MT4 firms who are all offering very similar products, which means that's great because you've got a customer who doesn't have to get used to your platform.
Yes.
But it means that somebody else can recruit that customer away from you just as easily.
That's true, but at the same time, there's a lot of benefit that MT4 brought to the market where it's all about customers, right? It's all about traders, and making it convenient for them is a priority. So MT4 did exactly that. As a trader, you spend time develop your strategy, and it only works with one broker. That is an MT4 broker. But then if other broker has MT4, you are not happy where you're at, you can easily migrate, right?
Yes.
A lot of traders do see that as a benefit. And about differentiation, I think with MT5 you certainly have much more opportunity to differentiate. Why? Because you have other asset classes that you can go to, and you can become a member of DGCX, and some other people can go and become members of other exchange, right? It does require work and time to do that, but if you really want to differentiate, there's many ways now.
I agree, and I think it's also a differentiation like this has a corporate benefit.
Yes.
Companies that are exposing themselves to spot FX fluctuations,
highly concentrated risk.
Highly concentrated risk, exactly that. They are able to diversify into less liquid contracts. So if something goes wrong with the FX side, they're able to. They've got the capital base to actually from other.
This is another great point.
Products to be able to do it.
Right.
So, for example, Sutton Financial in London, their EFX division, which is a very well recognised prime of prime liquidity provider, is very large for the FX industry, but the commodities section of the business dwarfs it. So their balance sheet is nothing to worry. If something goes wrong, they've got a massive raw materials base behind them. Okay. So if you think about it, you could, as a retail company, emulate that by having an FX brokerage in the middle part, and totally A-book everything, and not worry about it. Give the customer a complete institutional experience, and if something goes wrong, you've got the revenues and the capital
On the
base
other
from
side.
dealing on the other stuff and from working with futures and
right.
contracts to be able to hedge it.
It's a great opportunity to diversify the business,
most
not just the
certainly
product,
is.
but the business overall.
Absolutely right, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing more of these kinds of multi-asset systems coming into the business.
Yeah, absolutely. We are looking forward as well, and as brokerages do switch to MT5, we're looking to to do more business on MT5 and help all of them grow and succeed.
Excellent. Natalia, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Thank you for joining us here at the Limassol Yacht Club in Cyprus on IFX Expo Week. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.